Hi there and welcome to Busternet. Yes, this is the show I like to call Game Changer. It's a chance for me to delve into your safe and offer another perspective. And I usually look at as many things as I can, and I also play some games. Today's show is going to be different because the season has already ended, and somebody wants my advice going into the following season. So the following season is I'm gonna review your season. I'm gonna analyze your squad. I'm gonna look at your tactic, the one that you used. Hopefully, that's the one that is there. And I'm gonna show you different ways I would approach the game, and how I would set myself up for next season. Okay, the first thing we want to do straight away is that it's already over. The season is already over, so I can't really tell. We can't go back, right, and start looking at training and stuff like that because this is for next season, so you can't really go backwards. So I can't tell what your training was like. So I hope that your training was balanced enough so that you can get the best out of your team. Let's look at your staff. When you're playing in leagues like this, you are challenged in the sense that you're not going to be able to get the best coaches. So one way of doing this is, of course, to make yourself the best damn coach in the world. And then you got 4-4 here, 2. If you spread yourself out, you can get one more notch here, and you can get this to be 3.5 star. And that's about it. So this is what you can do. You can get one more area of expertise. Eventually, though, I think you should start looking for a goalkeeping coach if I were you. It's a long run plan. But the area that I usually focus on is possession and attacking. These are the ones where I have to have my best coaches. So possession, attacking, defending to some extent. Now let's take a look at your team report and a comparison. Compare your team to the rest of the league. This is a team that is playing in is IF Gothenburg, right? So this club is playing in Sweden. And yes, I actually had to find out because I didn't know which. I know that it's one of the Scandinavian countries. You finished 10th in the league, 4th. You've been in charge of this club for 2 seasons. So your season preview will be here. You were expected to finish 10th. You finished 2nd last season, which is quite an achievement. You outperformed the league. Now you want to do better because I think what happened was you did okay at the start, and then towards the end you start falling away. Now there could be several reasons why this happened. First up, you want to look at like your matches that you played, right? So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What I will do is I'll just go into analysis for your matches. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches here alone. So this is pretty decent. No? It'll tell you a lot of information. 100, most of your attacking moves started from the middle. Okay, that's good. You had a lot of chance. You had a lot of touches inside the penalty area, but you didn't score. But here, you scored none. This is not important. You didn't score a lot. Basically, you take a lot of time to score a goal. So essentially, you hold the ball for quite a while before scoring. You allow the opposition a lot of touches inside your box, and you've had a lot of touches in and around the box. But 156 touches. That you want to get these touches. You want to move touches to goal ratio over here, right? You want it to be a plus point. Final third entries. Yeah, you tried a lot of options to go down the left wing, but you didn't get in. And then central. Although this is a main area for you to go in. You've also allowed the opposition to go through your middle. So this is one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is to do it like this. Go to goals. And then what I do is I analyze it like this. Goals, assist locations. Most of your assists have come from crosses. Through balls only 3. And if we go down to about 15 matches, that will be basically your first tactic. So if you look at your tactic here, your 4-2-3-1. You count all these matches, you put them into one group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So you got about 15 matches. So give or take, this won't be included. So this entire period, how did your 4-2-3-1 go? So this is what your 4-2-3-1 was like. in 15 matches, right? So goal assist, 3 through balls, not good enough. You have to raise that number. 6 outside the box. Assist locations not so good. You have to, your assist corners and crosses are basically the only way you score is by pinging balls into the box. You don't really move teams around and create a lot of chances. Skill cut chances, 6 out of 7. That's a very high number, and it's very close. You converted only 3 of your clear cut chances, and you created 8. So that's your problem in the last 15 matches with the 4-2-3-1. You don't get a lot of goals. What you want to see is the type of goals you want. Play shots are good, but you're gonna have play shots. Normally, I have a lot of play shots in my goals. I get loads of play shots. This is my number 1 goal type that I have. This is not so important, goal times. It gives you some information. You concede a lot of goals at the start of the second half. So you have to watch how you play in the second half. So defensively, I think you have an issue. You 6 and 11. If you can look here, the assist locations. All right, you got 4 here, but if you look at this, most of the goals are scored in central positions. Now, another thing that you can do, and over time, is start analyzing some of your games. So this is what this show is going to be about. We're going to analyze your games, right? So we got Kalmar. Now let's look at Kalmar. I have no idea how Kalmar was supposed to finish. Kalmar is below you, so you're supposed to have beaten Kalmar, but Kalmar beat you instead. So if we go to this match, this is a match you should have won, but you lost to Kalmar. Kalmar played a game that can probably surprise you. Look at the formation. This is a 4-4-2 with 2 most likely attacking. One, at least this one is definitely attacking, with the DLFS or a striker dropping it, overlapping, putting pressure on your attack. And let's look at the kind of goals that they scored. So this is teams shots. Kalmar inside the box. Yes, they have a few inside the box, and we watch the highlights. So over time, I will look at the matches. I'll analyze every single match, and then I will try and say, okay, fine, this is I'll try and identify the weaknesses. Okay, this is far post. You probably didn't have anybody marking the far post, or this guy 19 isn't very good to be at the far post. So the far post is an area in your set pieces that you need to address. Here's the second goal. Was penalty. So let's see if we can actually see the incident that led to the penalty. Okay, so Dryston, no, this is not the incident that led to the penalty, but hopefully we get it now. They played it here. We have to speed things up. This is way too slow for me. Okay, Jaja plays it out wide. Halbert puts it in the box. This guy gets the ball, gets in and uses his head, and appeal for penalty given. You can also look at you can also call up the match report, right? So you have a match report that comes in over here. There's a match report. So you conceded a goal at this time. Penalty in the 61st minute. You scroll all the way down to the 61st minute. 61st minute. Somewhere around here is hit. Erling Mark went in too hard on Herman Halbert. So diving tackle. So this could be it, and the penalty was given. So this guy, this Erling Mark, was a culprit behind your penalty. So we look again. This Erling Mark, he's on a yellow card already. Decision making not very good. Yeah, this actually wasn't his fault, right? So the ball is played out here. This guy heads it away. He's got a poor header. He picks it up. So he's too far away. These guys are gonna come in and close the angle down. So the channel is pretty big here, and I mean the channel isn't that big actually, but he committed a tackle inside the box. So his decision making was poor. So we analyze the game and we go through every single. I mean, I would go through as many games as I can to find out about my player. Sometimes I even look at all the goals a player scores just to see whether he favors his left or his right foot. Okay, this guy comes in and it's a shot from range. Again, this is your defensive line and your line of engagement. Here, you want to cut down long range shots. I know it's a bit of a challenge, but here we go. Okay, when this guy closes down, the space opens up, right, for this guy to take it, push it to the right and smash it in. So if a player has good technique, they'll probably take on this shot. And we should see more of these shots in the real world as well over time. As you know, it's just like basketball. 3-pointers started becoming common in the last few years. A long time ago, 3-pointers were rare. When you see basketball teams play, they were always told to go for the 2. But now technique gets better. Players are gonna start winding, looking for those long shots. So you consider to go here. Unfortunately for you. Now, then for Gothenburg, your goals. Olsenberg, Ellenmark. Okay, this is a great through pass, right? So he got in, Abraham scored a goal, he camped and he scored 1 goal. This guy is free, so he can score goals and free kicks. Not too bad. Okay, now let's look at how your team does when it comes to things like defensive ratings, right? So what we want to do is you go to players, we're going to look at aerial challenges for Gothenburg, right? So we've got aerial challenges. Now, who wins the most headers in your team? Your defenders, headers 1, 3. This guy is 4, not too bad. 8, 1, 2 loss, 5, 1, 2 loss. Who's this guy? This guy is Sebastian Olsen. He's an attacking midfielder. That's fine. Then this guy has won a lot, quite a few headers. Surprisingly. Lose 2 headers, but your defenders here, jumping reach is 12, and this guy's jumping reach is 16. His heading is a bit poor. 12. Agility is 7. Explains why that header wasn't such a good header. Okay, so aerial challenges not too bad. Interceptions, we want to see your midfield making most of the interceptions. These are interceptions missed by midfield. There's one player who's notorious and missing, not being good at the interception, but not too bad. Then what I would typically do is go through most of these matches, right? So here we got another one. I have Gothenburg 48, 4-2-3-1. You played a 4-2-3-1. Again, you're not creating very many chances. 50-50 possession versus another 4-2-3-1. Here I think your biggest problem is controlling the match. You didn't control the match and you lost. You didn't win. Here we go. No Gothenburg. This is a situation which is pretty common in the game, right? You go camping and you don't have a plan B. You don't go in there and you try to try and break a team down. This is I've seen quite a number of people have this issue, and normally what I suggest most of the time is come up with a system that gives you plan B and plan C. Meaning you can, with a flick of a role change or a duty change or mentality change, you can get more players in attack, and this includes midfield players, which is really important, because I find that if you can get your midfielders into the attack, that's fantastic. So you have you win the ball. Okay, now you win the ball. You can see all the options that you have to bring the ball up. That is the first thing that I would want to see. You see, when you're playing against a team that's not really attacking you, you don't want your keeper to kick the long ball out. You want to keep possession at feet and build the play up, go camping, and then drag them around, get others into play and score a goal. This just means that you kick the ball out, it's a 50-50 chance. You're trying to beat them. You're not going to get enough support up. You can see this guy is right at the back. So he's a defend duty, which is fine. The guy goes up. This guy gets the ball and he tries again. So there's not enough movement. So you want players to come up off the ball movement. Some players dropping down, some players coming in to spot him when you want to break a team down. So this is a failed transition. If I see a transition like this against a team that's not really coming out to play, it doesn't mean that I'm not creating chances. It means that I'm just shit and moving the ball across the pitch, which is the case at the moment. So you literally want to look at your roles and duties a bit more effectively so that you can move the ball up the pitch and use it effectively. So here we got another, this is off a throw-in. The wall gets worked back, the guy brings the ball forward and then plays the ball over the top. And it's not a bad move. It gives me an idea that number 12 could actually be played as a ball-playing defender. Played it. Okay, these are throw-ins. You always, when you're defending the throw-ins, like you see over here, this guy is on this side. So you can actually set your throw-ins in such a way that when you attack your throw-ins, you can go for the far post. So here you got throw-ins, right? So we got the attacking throw-in here. I can go for a mixed short long. Okay, so if I wanted to go for a short throw-in, I go to this player and I make sure that this guy is half decent at crossing the ball. Then what I do is I get this guy to attack the far post. Where are you? Attack the far post. Okay, this is a header, a guy who can hit the ball into the far post. So this, what you could end up seeing is the pass is being played to this guy. The guy crosses the ball to the far post, and the guy hits it in. So you arrive at the far post unmarked. So that's one option. Now let's take a look at your team and compare them to the rest of the league. Easiest way of doing this, of course, is to come in here and see where you stack up. Now, defenders, first up, the first thing I want to do is I'm always looking at mentals. Because, when you decide whether a player can do a job, you start with mentals, you go to physical, then you go to technicals. Because you need desire before you can do something. So, a player needs to have the mentals to do the job. Right. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you're hungry, first you develop you have a desire to eat something. You don't just go and shove something in your mouth, because your brain has to say, okay, fine, I want something. So you want something, and then can you get it? That's your physical. So can you lift the cup? Can you kick the ball? And then finally, how good are you at doing that last bit? That's the technical side. So here we got the physicals, and I'm looking at your mentals of your defenders. First thing, determination is not bad, it's quite good. Positioning is not that bad, because you're 11.6 compared to the league. The league is 13. So generally you want it to be 13 to be on par with the rest of the league, but you're 11.6, this is an average. Chances are your positioning for your defenders is hovering between 12 to 13, which is kind of good. There's a lot of sound in the background because it's the first week of Chinese New Year, and everybody is like popping firecrackers near my house. Lots of explosions going on, so there's no bombs going off near my place, just lots of firecrackers. Okay, so we got positioning is not too bad. What about your physicals like jumping reach? The next thing I want to look at is positioning, anticipation. Where's the anticipation? Anticipation isn't that bad. Again, 11.6 to 12.43, not too far. Right, here you got bravery, that's okay. Composure, concentration is not too bad. So you're not that far away from the rest of the league. So you're pretty close. The only thing, you don't need these three for defenders, right? So it's not that important. What about physicals? Now, physicals, you want to beat them at jumping reach, but you're beating them in pace, you're beating them in acceleration, so you got the fastest team on the land. Okay, that's good. In terms of jumping reach, you're not one of the best. This is a concern, because in the long run, you want to get defenders with jumping reach of 14. This tells you you're not great in the air. Now, if you are great in the air, you can sacrifice some of your speed for one player who's phenomenal in the air. I think you have one already. So jumping reach, all you got to do is beat 14. How do you know how much jumping reach do you need? You look at your strikers. Strikers jumping reach is about 12.5, so about 13 is good for your defenders, 13 to 14. Now this is just for the league in Scandinavia or the league in Sweden. We're not looking at Europe. Europe, this jumps up to about 15 to 16. So if you're talking about being the best in Scandinavia, then you're looking at 14. If you're talking about being the best in Europe, you're looking at 16. So your defenders are okay. What about your midfielders? Midfielders, we're starting with mentals. Mentals, the first thing I look at is positioning. Second thing I look at is off the ball. Positioning for midfielders, 11.6 average. Then off the ball, a bit weak, right? You're 2 points off the highest. Off the ball, so what you're looking at is putting at least players you're expecting to see punch into space with off the ball of 11. So anybody who's gonna support duty, automatically 11. That's what you focus on. So positioning should be about 10 to 11. Off the ball should be 11 for any support duty. If it's a defend duty, positioning can be 12, 11 to 12, and then you screw the off the ball. Okay, so you got this anticipation. Mentals are not too bad. Decision making in this team is fairly poor, right? 10.8, 12.0. So You don't need a lot of good decision makers. You need the playmakers, the creative players to have to make good decisions. For your defenders, that's not too bad. For your midfielders, let's look at midfielders. Positioning here, for your midfielders, it's only 8.6 to 11.5. Decision making is not too bad for your team. Technicals, when it comes to passing, we're looking at passing and crossing, right? So crossing, not a crossing team, you're more like a passing team, I hope. Yeah, you're a passing team, so that's okay. You can tiki-taka your way to a goal, provided you have the kind of players. First touch is not too bad, so your boys can actually hold on to the ball, work the ball. Right? So strikers, let's look at the strikers' physicals. What about your strikers? Are they able to get away quickly? Acceleration, pretty okay. 12.6, not that fantastic, nothing to jump about. Mentals, we're looking at off the ball again. 12.8, average. You look at this, the league's average is you are 12.8. You want to beat 14. You want to beat 15. So this tells me a lot about the rest of the league. So okay, so basically what you have here is a situation where your team is a pretty average team. So you can go with a system. You're not great. Your defenders aren't fantastic, and your strikers aren't very good at off the ball. Some of your players are not very good at off the ball. So you got like some strikers are 12.8, right? And then you got your midfielders off the ball is about 11.2. So you want to leverage on this. You want to put players in who can move around. I mean, that's basic 101 for tactics. So let's look at your tactics. Okay. When I looked at your game, set pieces were a problem, right? So here you got 4-2-3-1. Now, ball winning midfielder DRP is okay if you got really smart players. Now we already seen your decision making is pretty average. Would I play a 4-2-3-1? This is one-dimensional 4-2-3-1, which means I have to literally go in and I have to win and control matches. And my plan B would be for one of these fullbacks to come in. My plan C would actually be to turn this guy to Carrero and have him gets further forward and gets into opposition area. A 4-2-3-1 tends to be one-dimensional unless you are pretty crafty with your tactics. Because if you look at a 4-2-3-1, I would probably turn this guy into a Carrero. He'll stay a bit wider, right? These two will hold. This Carrero will not run away too much. Then I'll probably turn this guy into a fullback on support or maybe inverted wing back. And if I can train this guy to get into the opposition area, it'll be fun because he'll be going this way. Okay, now the problem here is you got this guy holding on, right? There's fairly little movement here. And this guy is going to punch through and run into the channels between defenders, which means he's going to go this way. When this happens, who's going to attack the box? Winger is going this way, inside forward is coming. So you literally don't really have anybody attacking the box, except if you're camping and the fullback comes this way, then maybe this guy might be in the box. This guy might come in a bit. So there's a lot of maybes in this tactic because this guy is too far forward to do anything. This tactic is only going to score goals with a cross, like winger. There's no room for play shots here. So you're not really going to create a lot of play shots with this tactic. So how I would do this would be to I'll probably be a bit more conservative. I'll play a fullback on support. I may even tell him to overlap. Then here I wouldn't counter press because you're not that good just yet. Against stronger teams, I'll regroup. I'll just drop back. Okay. Against teams I can defeat, I will go counter press. So this is a general rule of thumb. Okay, now your defensive line. Here standard width. If you go in if you play narrow, you'll be shutting down these channels, but the players are going to come down the flank. So you need to be able to defend the crosses. Here got inside forward and support. He'll drop in this area and help you defend. So as long as these players have the ability to protect your players, it's not too bad. Now, what about the space here? How do we get players to work the space? Here, there are several options. One is a target man on support. Another one is a DLF on support. Maybe even an F9. But my personal preference is actually target man, DLFS. And this role, sometimes I feel that you should use a shadow striker or somebody who's attacking the space so that you get more options in attack. So here you could use a poacher. It's a very simple role. You just turn around and pass it to anybody else. And this player could be this. You see, if you're going to use a move into channels instruction, just turn him into shadow striker. Okay, tell him to attack the box. Okay. Otherwise, what you do is you tell him to be an attacking midfielder on support. If you tell him to be an attacking midfielder on support, you don't get a lot of punch. Yeah, you have to end up doing this, get further forward. But this role, unless you're a player who's dribbling, it makes sense. Otherwise, you're going to have issues. Now, you have a DLP on defense. Who's he going to pass the ball to? He's really only going to be passing the ball to this guy or to this guy. So you need this guy to bomb down the flanks. And I personally don't think that you're going to get a lot of options unless you release this guy. Getting to move into this area. And then this guy can be a box-to-box midfielder. He can be a Carrillo. He can even be a box-to-box midfielder, because then this guy has more license to do crazy stuff. So if you can go this way, you can attack this way. Then you got an attacking midfielder. You got Poacher will pass the ball back to these guys, and you might be able to get some joy from this tactic. Your tempo can be here. If you want to encourage use of flanks, go a bit wider. Defend narrower, because we want to close down the flanks. Now, if you want to make narrow banks of 4, then what you do is you actually do this. You drop it like this and prevent short goalkeeper distribution. So these guys will just close down the keeper when the keeper wants to play the ball at the back, and you got these 3 players waiting to pick up the pieces. Now, this is one variation of the tactic. Another variation of the tactic is slightly different, but now we're going to look at your team and see what we can do first, because we don't want to talk about there's so many ways a team can play, but what kind of players do you have? Okay, first let's look at your defenders. And let's see what you have. Defend DNA. So I'm looking at positioning as a main criteria. First time I'm looking at jumping reach. Whoever's got the highest jumping reach is probably going to end up playing all your games as a defender. So this guy is playing every single game without fail. That's it. There's no other 2 ways about it. So we got to put somebody who's fast beside him. So the next person that's going to come in is going to have acceleration. So we got August Grilling, whatever your name is. Okay. We got Christopher de Grassa. Anticipation 10, aggression not so good. We got David Boo, Wilkander, jumping reach 11, and then we got Andrea Kalisa, jumping. Okay, personally, I'm thinking this guy is a waste as a central defender. And he dives into tackles. So I wouldn't play him, because you're gonna give up a lot of penalties. So I'd rather put him in midfield. So I probably end up playing with these guys as 2 central defenders. So you now have to start thinking about another central defender. You got to find a central defender somewhere who can play. So you've got okay. So I'm going to remove this guy. In fact, I'm going to use this guy because he's got decent anticipation. He's got decent anticipation. His jumping is only 12. His tackling is okay. So Carl and Marcus will start all your games. And the second thing I'll do is I'll definitely be looking for another fullback. Central defender. This guy is going to be shifted into midfield. He's a potential midfield player. So we're now trying to iron out who are your other players. This guy's agility is so. He's got to play a lot of games. He's got a fair amount of potential, but he can. If I were playing with this team, I'll probably give him a lot of game time. But this is your starter, I think, or is it Billy Nordstrom? Billy Nordstrom he can get up and cross the ball. Positioning is not so good. This guy definitely can get up. He's definitely a lot faster. He's a left-footed. His tackling is not so good. So what you do with this chap is you training. Make sure that you work on his. I wouldn't work on his strength so much. Yeah, strength is good, but I also work on his. Defensive positioning, right? So we work on his defensive positioning, or you work on his strength. Strength is also not the bad thing. But here, your training is important. See, the weakest area for your team is the defenders right now. So your tactic, you go into your training. Make sure that when you do your training, you have those players that need to work on the defending in this group. Those players who need to work on the offensive side and the offensive group. Make sure your training incorporates things like let's just show you what I mean. So we got training. So what you do is you make sure that in your training, you're defending. You do stuff like defending disengage or defending engage. So these are the training sessions that you want to handle. This will handle your defending from crossing. Okay, you can also do this, but these are some of the training schedules that you want to include in your week, right? So this basically was on pressing intensity and marking over the week. This one has got, if you notice, this one has got positioning and no aggression. This one has got aggression inside it. So you improve the players' and mental side of the game plus their aggression. So defending engage will make them tougher. All right, and defending disengage is probably safer if you want to play a high aggression counter pressing tactic, where you don't really want the aggression as much as you want the desire and ability to tackle. Okay, so engage is the what you should be doing for yourself, or disengage depending on how attacking you are. All right, so you do this, and then you have a few more, and you can have defending wide, technical. You can do transition, restrict, right? Passing, tackling, anticipation, concentration. So this works on these attributes. So you've got like a few attributes that you can work on. So transition, restrict, and you create a defensive version of this training session. So in a week you might do all this. So defensive shadow play is okay. I'm not a big fan of this though. But you want to do like stuff like defending, disengage, defending this, and then you want to go to your general section and then picking up either defend. You want to do defending and tactical together. Why tactical? Anticipation, concentration, and positioning is covered in tactical, and in defending you've got anticipation, concentration, and positioning. So you're doing a double whammy, right? So you got these two, and this works on pressing intensity and marking, which is good for your tactic. Tactical work on mentality with position, role, and duty. So you're in terms of your training now, what you've done is you're focusing on the weak areas for your team. So you're working on those areas, and that is the focus of your training. Now, when you look at transition restrict, remember earlier I was talking about setting up units. Now, these are the attacking units that are going to be working on transition restrict. The defending units are just going to be working on passing, tackling, anticipation, concentration, marking, and this. Now, if you want your defenders to improve, right? Then if you want your defenders to be getting these hits in attributes, what you really want to do is then go to your training again, your units, and moving players like your maybe I want to move him here. If I move Victor here, then when I do the training, if I go to my calendar, sorry, if I go back to my calendar again, so my wingback has been moved, right? He's going to be affected by this. But here, if you can notice, this is why reasons why I like transition restrict. You got 40-40. But when I do this, defending engage, priority is 60% for the defensive unit. So you have to look at where your priorities are. If you want a player to improve a certain facet of his game, if he's crossing and he's a wingback, and if you want him to improve his ability to cross the ball in a transition when he's attack, you want him to be in the attacking unit. This is some small little things that you can do for your tactics and your training, so you make them a bit more tightly integrated. Okay, we've done that. Now let's take a look at your team. So we've got your wingbacks. You got Solomonson, who's a pretty decent wingback. Runs with ball down the right, means he dribbles a lot with the ball. Moves into channels is a seriously. He's gonna. What this means is when he gets forward, he might run between the central defender and the fullback. Okay. He can't play on the side of the. He can't play on the side of the. You might not be able to play him on the side of the inverted, the inside forward. That's the only downside. So if I use Jake, you gotta use this guy as a fullback. Now this means that you gotta be very careful with. You gotta be paying attention to your right wing now, because your right wing, this right wing has got inside forward. So your inside forward could be, you got one guy going this way, you got another guy going this way. Not ideal. So you got the clash of the titans happening in the channel. So this means that you're probably better off having a winger here and an inside forward here, so that you don't have that. You got this guy running this way, the inside forward can go in, but then you're gonna have this effect like this. So I rather have the fullback doing this, right? So he's giving you width, not coming inside. If he's coming inside, I might as well tell him to be inverted wingback. Then he comes inside this way, and he can play those kind of balls over the top and control play. So this guy could be a potential inverted wingback. So we're gonna remove this guy from being an inverted. This guy now becomes a more likely inverted wingback. So Where's the Salmon? Okay, there we go, the Solomon. Okay, he's got decisions. Yeah, I probably get this guy to be I probably use him actually if I wanted to as an inverted wingback, probably, but we have to play him because he's a key player. Alright, so now we have to look at a tactic that at least has that option. So now I'm just going to create one new tactic, use a simple style. I don't know, 4 defender formations. I'm just going to go for something safe for now. Okay. Alright, so we got a second tactic. Now we got this guy here. We got this. Come on, get up there. Okay, we got this guy here, this guy here. So this guy we know is going to be a winger. Alright, so he's a wing. Might even be a winger on attack. This guy can now. I know this guy has to be a. He could be a Mezzala, or he could be a Carrello. Because we got this guy coming in this way. We got this guy going this way. Another option, of course, is still to have the inside forward and create all kinds of havoc on this side. Okay, so we got Mezzala on attack, and then we got this fullback who's going to be running this way. Got Mezzala running this way. Got inside forward. This is going to create all kinds of havoc because you're gonna hold the ball on this side of the pitch very effectively, and you're gonna move the ball around. So you got Anchorman here. So we don't want this guy drifting too much because we got Mezzala running off like this. Then we got a winger here now on this flank. So we got a winger going this way. And then we've got a target man or a deep line forward or a poacher in front. So this is another option for your tactic. Right? So we've got what we have is a wing back that's gonna come this way. Right? We got Mezzala that's gonna go this, is gonna start from this area here, then cut inside goal. We also got inside forward coming in this way. So you got plenty of options. This will be an interesting little attacking variation. Box to box midfielder, maybe not. Here this one could be a deep line playmaker on support. And this guy could be a winger on attack to give you the width to. He might actually go down the left flank. Yeah, this could work. For your team, this could definitely work and positive. Now, this is just based on the one player that we saw, right? Okay, so now that we've seen that, now let's see whether it's possible for us to do something like this. So we got defend DNA, we're looking at positioning. Okay, earlier we got this guy, August Erlingmark, right? So he can definitely play as the anchorman. Where is Erlingmark? Okay, we got Erlingmark. Where are you? Okay, you can definitely play as an anchorman. Alright. Or we can play with Andre Kalisir as an anchorman. Tries to play his way out of trouble. No. You got too many players who dive into tackles. You're probably going to spend some time teaching them not to dive into tackles. We got this guy here as well. Comes deep to get the ball, avoids. No. Okay, so we've got this guy as an anchorman. Now, yeah, first thing we're going to do is you go to training and development. Please tell him to remove the dive into tackles. Just get it out of his system. All right. Now we've got players. You have a lot of midfielders, so you can afford to play this style that I'm suggesting. You got Flair of 11, and he is a right only player, so he can come in here. So Mezzala. DM tries killer balls and shoots from distance. Arrives late into the box would be a nice player trait for him. So you got this guy here. I mean, if I had this guy gets forward or arrives late and gets into opposition here, this would be fantastic because he's just gonna come this way and get the goals. Now you got winger. So you got inside forward, the Mezzala coming this way. Mezzala might come in late. Winger is coming this way. Fullback. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to make sure this fullback is not far away from our play. So you got two options. You can go auto, you can go attack, you can also go automatic, and then you can do all kinds of wonderful things to this PI. So you can get further forward, sit narrower, cut inside with ball, no, forget it. Cross from deep now, cross less often, take fury, shoot less often, dribble less. Okay, this is one option, right? So basically sending him up higher. Alternative B is to screw all these things. Come here and go fullback on support, please. Thank you very much. And I shall now go overlap left. Okay. Now overlap left is going to reduce this guy's forward runs, but he's going to push this guy up further up the pitch. So he's now going to be closer in support to these guys. So we're basically going to have two guys. The DLF P can pass to the Mezzala attack, or he can pass to this guy. Right. So we got this option. So you got Sako. Now let's take a look at the guys up top. This is how I normally create a tactic, right? So I look for options. Okay, we got attacking midfielders. Oh, I noticed I noticed this earlier. You have all these wonderful players that can run all over the place. Cuts inside from left wing. All right, right-footed even. Inside forward on the left, cutting inside, going for a goal. Does he have finishing and composure? Not too bad. Okay. Option B, with this tactic, you can create another version of this tactic where Mezzala comes in here, inside forward comes in here. Okay, so option B for your tactic will be Mezzala attacking here. DLP on support here. Come on, DLP on support. And then you can have inside forward on attack, inside forward on support here. So now you got these guys working together for this guy to play. Right, because he's a right footer cutting inside from his left wing. So if you go to your tactic now, and you take Sebastian Ocean and you stick him here, where are you, son? He goes in here. So he's okay. He loves this. He loves it. He's like, he's gonna look at you, go, really? That's what I love to do every single day of the week. So we got one inside forward here. Now we got one winger. Now the problem is this guy's bombing this way, right? But he's not going to be very far away from this guy. So this guy has to be a winger. I'll give him a winger on attack. So he goes up. Now here, this is where I would think about the overlap instruction. Now I don't want him to overlap anymore. So because I don't want him to be too far forward now. So he's going to be around here. If you need him to come closer to the... Now if you want the fullback to always make sure he passes inside, sit narrower. So he's got chances are he's going to work more closely with these guys. If you want him to be closer to the Mezzala in the transitions and you're willing to take risks, then overlap, right? So that's one option. Or you can go fullback on attack. You can also go fullback on attack, but then he gets too aggressive. So fullback on support is an option. And another alternative is this. Fullback on support, get further forward. So he's actually further up during the transition. Here we've got on the right, we've got a fullback on support that's gonna go bombing. We know he's moving into channels and he likes to dribble with the ball. So you got wing on attack, Poacher inside forward, Mezzala attack. So this is another variation. So basically you got flip-flop. Right, so you just have to move the Mezzala here, DLP here, inside forward here, winger here. There's one tactic, and the other tactic was just like this. All right, what about your players that can fit into the system? So we got Sebastian Olsen who can play on the left. What about another player who can play on the Tobias Heisen? You look like a good player. Okay. Oh wow, we got another one who likes to get into the opposition area, and he's a lefty as well. Okay, all right. So now we turn this guy into a winger. I hope you guys aren't getting confused. Because we are having a lot of fun here. DLP, because this is all theoretical because I don't have to play a game because it's preseason and I won't be buying any players, right? So inside forward, this is a crazy ass system because we've got this guy coming in. Now if I want to really to have fun with some teams, right? This is what I do. I push this guy up with the overlap instructions. I create a lot of traffic in this area. And these guys are the ones exploring. So I got playmaker looking this way or this way. I got Mezzala looking this way or this way. Now this position here on the left would then go to Mr. Tobias Heisen. So Tobias Heisen can play on this side. So we've got Tobias Heisen and another player. So we can rotate our team quite effectively we have options here. And now we got Sargon Abraham. Sargon attacking midfielder, right center striker. Okay, he's the guy he's your top scorer, has been scoring. We've got Robin Schroeder, can be another striker. Then we've got Christian acceleration. So I will probably play him up top by himself. So Sargon. Okay, this is the thing about your final options, right? So you got strikers. You've got this guy who moves into channel. So basically, chances are he's going to get offside. So you got to be careful with this guy. But he can play as a poacher. He can play as an advanced forward. He moves into channels and he cuts inside from the left wing. So if I were to play an inside forward, he's one of those players that's cutting inside from the left wing and is going for goal. Not a bad option. Robin Schroeder, striker, 27 years old. Poacher, not very brave. Move into channels again. Another one move into channels. This guy is gonna likes to try and beat the offside trap. Anticipation is quite good. Now, this guy could make for a decent advanced forward against teams that are giving you a lot of space. Then you got Sargon Abraham and Olsen. Then now is the question is who's going to be a poacher and who's going to be inside forward. So on the right in this system we have Tobias Heisen. So he's a winger. Left only, likes to beat knocks. He can actually come in here and try and score goals for you. We've got this guy who can play on the flanks as a winger. So we got Abraham, who can be a winger. Attacking midfielder, left. He'll shoot some distance and likes to round the keeper. We also got this guy who can, he can't cross. And then we can play with this guy on the right, moving into channels. So he can be a striker up top as well. So we got this guy as a striker up top. And then we got Olsen on the right flank. So you can. So this guy. The reason why I put him on the right flank is because if I want him to play like a winger, if I want him to cut inside from the left flank, this guy is playing here. Abraham can play here. Left foot is going this way. This guy is going to cut inside as well, and you got a poacher, so you got two threats going this way. But ideally, I want a winger in this position, somebody who can play as a simple winger. So Tobias Heisen in here. So this is how I would set your tactic up. Mezzala will be somebody who has got good flair and is playing in this position and can tackle. Comes deep, the Mezzala coming deep to get the ball might be an issue. So we got to go to midfielders and look at all your players. So essentially, these are the players. You can play a Mezzala there, Sako. I like him playing in this position because he can look for the players. So you got winger on support or you got inside. So here, this guy can be a winger on attack. So you got winger attack and a poacher on attack, and you got a playmaker here. So the only player left right now is your Mezzala. So your Mezzala is going to be a player who's got good flair. And you've only got this player here left who can play the role of the Mezzala. Passing vision decisions, he comes deep to get the ball. The only problem is he might not be able to punch through. I don't like a come deep to get the ball. So what I would do is, in the off season, now what you're looking for in the transfer window, this is what you're looking for in the transfer window. You're looking for you're looking for a striker, and you're looking for a player with flair who can tackle the ball and bring the ball forward. So if you can get into the opposition area, that'll be good. So you're basically looking for a central midfielder, attacking central midfielder who can bring the ball up. Right. This guy might over time get there. So you might want to try him out as well because he's got some potential. Adil Titi. He's got a lot of potential. So you might even want to try and play him in this position. Right? Because he's left only, he can actually over time end up being a pretty decent Mezzala because he's gonna have a lot of there's got a lot of upside to playing a player like that because there's a lot of time for him to develop. Ideal T3 development training. Immediately I go into him and I go, you are now being trained as a Mezzala. Welcome to the life of a Mezzala. Where are you, Mezzala? Mezzala? There you go. There we go. And he absolutely loves being a Mezzala. He'll work on his passing, his vision, his decisions, and then what you do is your endurance is okay. You can also work on attacking movement, anticipation, decisions of the ball. So Ideal TT. So you got two Mezzalas in your team now. You got Ideal TT and you got this guy on loan. So this is a tactic that I will play with for the next season. So here I will be looking at getting myself a poacher. I would look for a defensive midfielder who doesn't dive into tackles, or at least you train somebody. And finally, that's basically it. This is how I would play your team. I will play them with a 4-1-2-1 because I think it's safer and you'll be able to crack a lot more, get a lot more goals because you have options when playing this tactic like this. You can control. You got fullbacks who running the channels. You can, when you want to go camping, you can turn this guy into inverted wing back. You can turn this guy into inverted wing back. This guy into a roaming playmaker. Push this way. You can box to box midfielder. This guy. Yeah, there's so many options. You can go fullback. You can go fullback attack, winger support. I have support, fullback attack, and go camping as well. Then turn this guy into a deep line forward. Poacher. This works because right now you have the players. What you need to do is you need to go out there and get a new poacher. I mean, I was hoping to play a couple of matches, but this is the off season, so I can't play any matches unless I go into the transfer market and start hunting for players, and that's going to be something that you should be doing because it's the love of the game, and I don't want to deny you that. And I don't want to do it myself. So it's quite a lot of work that'll take a while. And it's going to take, but essentially when it comes to your tactics, I don't think you should have been playing the 4-2-3-1. In my honest opinion, you can play the 4-2-3-1 some of the time, but it's not an ideal situation all of the time. You can see you played quite well with a 4-3-3, which is a variant of the 4-1-2-2-1. This is the tactic you should be playing. This is the system that you should be playing, a variant of the 4-1-2-2-1, which has been more successful for you than the 4-2-3-1. 4-2-3-1, I hate this kind of result. 6-1, these are like the fall summer. You get a 6-1 scoreline and suddenly everything looks like you should be playing the 4-2-3-1. But then if you look at the rest of the games, you're struggling after that. 4-2-3-1 requires you to be very, very good at shifting roles and duties in the middle of a game. Whereas, the case of the 4-1-4-1, you can be quite good. Now here you lost 1-0 against AIK Stockholm. You played this game. You were playing quite well, but this is where things like, how do you get more players into the third? How do you control their half? Because you look at this, they only had 33% possession. This means that you either didn't use your shape correctly, or you went and used counter press when you don't have to use counter press. So things like in transition, regroup and counter. Sometimes this is not a bad move because you're playing against a team and you're not too sure. You don't want to overcommit. And then if you want to go and put more pressure on the team, counter press, counter, you can shift up your mentality out of possession. You want to have a higher defensive line. This closes your channels here and here. Okay, this closes this channel, opens up crossing opportunities for the opposition. This anchorman, you can't afford to play with an anchorman. Remember that, because you're using an anchorman. So if they cut inside your anchorman, if he's really good, they're going to find it difficult to get through the anchorman. So you got options. You can easily play this, something like this. Use offside trap, prevent shot goalkeeper distribution. This is the shape you can use. If you do want to play counter press, you can still play counter press like this, right? You don't have to go counter press all the time. If your team can't do it, don't do it. So you can regroup and counter most of the time, or you can counter press and play like this. But I personally, if it was me, I regroup first. Here, learn how to use the overlap. Another thing is, if your players are fast and they can cross, if your players are really fast and get into the box, if not very great, not good in the air, then whip cross is not a bad move. Pass into space for your through balls. And passing can be standard and you can play with a slightly higher tempo. But if you are playing against a team that maybe sometimes they are sitting back and you want to, you have all the possession in the world, then go shorter tempo and break them down. And then when it comes to the flanks, attacking with, the more you use your flank, the narrower you are, the more you move through the middle, use the middle. The more wider you are, the more you use your fullbacks. Now the moment you go wider, you have to look at your passing as well, right? So you got to be very careful when you make the shift. But this is basically the system I would use with your team: an anchor man to hold the middle. And now let's go to your corners and routines. Now, okay, this is horrific, right? This is a terrible defensive routine. The best defensive routine is either this or this. Okay, there are two defensive routines in the game that I consider to be the best. Go back, edge of area. Main players who are jumping, stay here. This will handle recycle when you lose the header. When the corner comes in and you lose it, right? And then they get a chance to build up play. This can catch them offside. Assuming you got a bunch of muppets and they cannot play the offside trap very well, this is another option. So you cover the main zone. 1, 2, 3. So you cover these main zones. This guy should be edge of area. This guy should be edge of area. Go back. Okay, so you got go back, edge of area, and these 3. Now, of course, you don't need 2, right? So if the ball is coming from this way, this guy is more important than this guy. If the ball is coming from the other way, this guy is more important. The same applies for throw-ins. A lot of people have issues with throw-ins, defending throw-ins. I don't. I don't really have any issues anymore. So what I normally have is load my routine. Can defend the throw-in. So we got this is a defend throw-in. The most important is this area, right? The next thing you want to do is edge of area. This guy, go back. This guy, go back. So you've got these guys strung out in a row, 2 go backs and 2 edge of areas. This is your defend throw-in routine. So you got defend left and defend right. So this is what you want to do. Attack throw-in routines, very simple. You can play it short. This guy can cross the ball. That's good. And the other option, of course, is a DCL, DCR, attacking this area. Then you tell this guy to play it short or mix, or play it short and hopefully your MCR can cross the ball. And that's basically it for your tactics. I think you just have to find a decent poacher to give you a bit of rotational choice. And you should be fine. I think that's it. All you need to do is go out there and get yourself a poacher. Somebody who can give you the option of dropping the ball and holding on to the ball. Because at the moment, it's either you find a poacher or you find another player to play as this guy, Sargon Abraham, right? Because he is going to play, you need an inside forward on the right flank, right? So either you get a poacher or a left-footed striker who's got dribbling, crossing. So at the moment, this is how I would set your tactic up. So if you have any questions, please look me up on Twitter at Busternet or addicted2fm.com, my website. And those guys on the Discord channel, yeah, you know exactly where to find me. So you know where you can find me. And if you have any questions, hunt me down there. And I look forward to catching up with you very soon. You guys take care. Have a good one. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.